Yo, what's up everybody? We just got that massive patch, and then with that patch came some Datamine cards. I've got all kinds of things to show you guys here today. It's so exciting, but we're starting it off with the cards themselves. So we have 3 cards that we have confirmed abilities and stat lines for, at least up to this point. Keep in mind, all of this could change before their official release. So we have Ghost Spider. She is confirmed to be the season pass card for the June season, which is going to be Spider-Verse related, because that's when the movie comes out. Hype. Let's go. So Ghost Spider, a 2/3 on reveal, move the last card you played here. I'm giving this 4 stars. I think this is a really strong ability for the move archetype. You know, just anytime that you can have another enabler to move cards, it's going to help the deck that much more. And this is a cheap option, being only 2 costs. There's cards like Doctor Strange, for instance, that's a bit higher of a cost and actually a more difficult condition to meet. You know, the highest power card. This is just the last card that you moved, so it's like a reverse Iron Fist. Iron Fist is going to punch the next card to the left. Ghost Spider is going to move whatever the last card you played to her location, which is fantastic. You could actually stack this with things like Absorbing Man or any of the on reveal synergies as well. Maybe the last 2 cards. I don't know how that would work if you used it with Wong. I assume not, but regardless, really good enabler to move your Vulture, to move your Torch, to move your Dagger, especially Torch. Actually, that's an easy, quick 1-2, right? Torch on 1, Ghost Spider on 2. Sometimes it can be a bit awkward if you have Iron Fist and then Torch, because they're both 1 cost. You don't know what to do. Maybe you wanted to use Forge or something in the interim. Well, now Ghost Spider is going to be a nice, easy layup to move your Torch. I like this card a lot. There's a lot of control over what you're going to move and where you're going to move it, which is going to help move decks a lot. Also, not to mention, you can move it to the right, which is super helpful because you're probably going to play Heimdall and move things back to the left. So there you go. Or maybe you just trick your opponent. You play Ghost Spider on turn 6 and move the card to the right instead of Heimdalling to the left. Whatever that last card you played. And there's a card I'm going to talk about that might work pretty well with that strategy in mind. But dude, look at the variants. Oh my goodness. This card has like 9 Datamine variants. It's insane. It's the most I've ever seen of a Datamine card. So they went all out and every single one is fire. I think this is the card with the best variants. It's absolutely amazing. I'm giving this 4 stars. I think this is a strong card. Great card for the season pass because it just opens up move decks a little bit more and everyone can have fun with it. And amazing variants. Love it. And then we got Spider-Ham. Let's go. So we already kind of knew this card was going to be coming, but we didn't know the ability. We didn't know the stat line. And now we do. Spider-Ham is going to be a 1/1 on reveal. Transform the highest cost card in your opponent's hand into a pig, keeping its power and cost. And you'll see the pig rotating over here, as I just put it there as a variant. But basically, the pig is just saying you don't have an ability. It's a no ability card now. You know, you're going to maintain your power and cost, so that's not going to change. It's just the abilities removed. Sound familiar? Yeah. It's basically Leech, but smaller and only impacts 1 card, which is most likely your opponent's, most valuable card in their hand at that given moment in time. It's their big late game play. So that's where I can see this having value. But there's a few drawbacks to this card, honestly. You can't use it on repeat. I was thinking even like Beast, Lockjaw, then maybe that'd be good. Wong, but it doesn't work with any of those. So if anyone is not listening and just watching to see the cards, you're probably going to think that I think these all synergize. They don't. They don't. I mean, maybe Lockjaw, you can throw it in there and then it hits and then it can go back to the deck and then maybe you can do that later if they end up playing that high cost card. But unlikely, it's going to be in their hand. This is a one-time value thing. You don't really want to Beast it. You don't want to combo it with Wong. You don't want to combo it with Absorbing Man. What do you combo this with? I don't think you do a whole lot. Like, I don't know. I would rather play something like Iceman and just disrupt my opponent's game plan, and then I can maybe use that on repeat and cycle it and it has more power. I actually feel like this will end up being weak, but it will have game winning moments. I shouldn't say weak. I think that it's in the middle of the pack for the 1 drops, right? At first glance, it seems so strong. You can turn your opponent's 6 whatever cost thing into like basically a Hulk, but probably not as much power. But that could backfire. What if their highest cost thing is Infinite and now they can play it for free? There's no condition on Infinite. Like, you kind of got to watch out. That's a 20 power pig. You got to watch out what you're doing with these pigs. There's no control. There's no knowledge of what you're hitting. So I think it could backfire. Now, of course, if their big game plan is to play something like Death, right? What if they have Death in hand or Galactus or something like that, and you smack them with the Spider-Ham and bam, they have a pig in their hand instead of Galactus? That's going to hurt. That's going to suck. Even Thanos decks, you hit Thanos, he's not going to get the buff. He's a pig now. So pretty wild implications there. But again, it's just all the control is essentially in your opponent's hands. Whatever they're running, you don't really know. You don't know if you're going to have that much value off of your hand, and it could backfire. So that's why I'm giving it 3 stars. I could see it being amazing, and I could see it absolutely whiffing, which is just great for a card like this. I love it thematically. The variants look absolutely amazing. We're not 100% sure which one. This might be the base variant or this one. Not too sure. I'm seeing conflicting results there. But anyways, so good. Even got a Dan Hip. I love it. I like this card a lot. I just don't know if it's as crazy as it seems at first glance. And speaking of cards that seem pretty powerful at first glance, but might not be as powerful as they seem, we got Spiderman 2099, a 4-cost 5-power card. The first time this moves to a location, destroy an enemy card there. Now, there's a little bit of a nuance here that I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I'm 90% sure, but I'm not fully there. Is that does each location act as a different movement? Is it a different trigger? We don't have a non-reveal. It's not an ongoing, but it says the first time this moves to a location. So if I move it to the middle one and then the right location and I started in the left, is that 2 separate movements to a new location, or is it just the first time? I think it's just the first time. You get 1 destroy off of this guy and then that is it, which is why I'm giving it 2 stars. If you could maybe hit it on the 2 locations, that'd be pretty good. That's 2 destroys, opening up a lot of space at 2 different locations. Heimdall seems really good with that. You move it on turn 5, you move it on turn 6. That's 2 destroys. That's good value. I just don't think based on the text that that's how it's going to work, although it'd be nice to see that. The problem I have with this card is it requires a lot of setup. So obviously you have to move it somehow. So you have to have like an Iron Fist, a cloak, or anything like that to move it. Then you got to move it to a location where there's a prime target that you want to destroy, right? Or else the value isn't that great if you hit a rock or a 1-drop or anything like that. That's kind of brutal. Then you got to hope that your opponent doesn't have a bunch of stuff on their side of the board. You're hoping they're playing like 1 card a turn to hit that high value target. So that's another condition that's a bit difficult. Then there's locations that don't always allow the most easy movement, right? The Sanctum Sanctorum, or just things where you can't play things, and that becomes restricting as well. And then lastly, what if they have armor? What if they have Professor X? These kind of things that prevent destroy mechanics from working. So yeah, I just feel like this is a little bit expensive for what it has the potential to pull off. And I feel like this will just get cut for other movement options. If you're making a move deck, you're just going to look towards like buffing a vulture or something along those lines. I don't think you look at Spider-Man 2099 and you say, yes, that's what I want. It's also random. You're not picking the card that you're destroying. You're moving it to a location where you're going to destroy a card there, but it's a 1 in 4 if they have 4 there. So it could be something very weak, or it could be their strongest card. So there's also that. Another nice thing is this isn't an on reveal or ongoing. That text cannot be removed unless it's leached or spider hammed. But yeah, I just don't know how I feel about this one. I'm open to changing my mind about this if there's a combo that I'm missing. But it kind of gives me Gambit vibes, where it can be absolutely crazy in very rare scenarios, but then it could absolutely whiff. And again, if it can trigger twice on 2 new locations, it can move to the 2 separate locations, and that's a trigger each time, my opinion completely changes. But the way I interpret it right now is it's just off of 1 movement, destroys 1 card, and I just don't think it's worth it. All right, so here we go. This is thanks to Snap.fan. So we have the bundle. This is kind of like the June package, right? A few other confirmations. So the awesome variants right there assembled with that Miles Morales one is just absolute fire. The Ghost Spider, the Spider-Man 2099 card backs are fire. Let's go. Then we also got a bunch of variants. I like to do those variant shorts, so I will definitely sneak some of my favorite ones in there. There's the pig. Oh my gosh, the pig's so good. A bunch of other variants. We got the new cards, and then look at these. Echo and Gladiator. How about that? Okay, some new stuff. Very fascinating. We don't have abilities or anything like that, but that looks like Peach Momoko on the top there, and that could be like Flaviano or something on the bottom. But anyways, really, really cool. I'm excited to learn what these cards do, but we have no information at this moment in time. Okay, and here's a little quick thing about 2 locations that's going to be coming. Aunt Maze, the first card you play here, gets +3 power and moves. That's pretty neat, but interesting that you play it there and then it moves off, right? A little bit difficult to get cards there. And the Great Web, after each turn, move 1 card to the web for a random player. That's pretty neat. Card's going to be bouncing around, I guess, or actually getting stuck at the web. Lots of movement, right, in the June package. I think that's pretty exciting. Move needs it. Then you got your booster, your packs, and then you got your bundles. So we have some interesting ones. So they're going for like booster packs, which is kind of weak. We got Team Cat, Team Dog. Apparently you can pick one of these. You can spend the gold and you get the title and the credits. Also doesn't look worth it to me. I don't know, 700 gold, we'll see, just for credits. I don't know. And then more booster packs. I don't know if that's replacing the token packs, but that is not worth. You got this one, Beautiful Beyond Compare, with an awesome collector variant. I love that a lot. It does have 10,000 collector's tokens. 10,000 collector's tokens. I don't see the price here, but it's going to be lasting for 3 weeks. It reminds me of the Throg bundle, so I can expect a price around there. And then we got the I Am Groot bundle. This is the baby Groot with the Dan Hit art style. Fantastic. 2,900 gold is what it's going to cost. You get credits and you get the Groot variant. Don't know if that one's worth it either, but if you really like the variant, then it is. This reminds me of the Double Dino Moon Girl one. Moving on, we got some tokens there for gold, with some gold. That's kind of nice. And then we got this one, which I thought was pretty cool. It's got the chibi variants, or some kind of style like that. It's going to cost you almost 6,000 gold, and you're going to get all those variants and boosters, which is pretty neat, in the title. Again, I don't know, very cosmetic, but the credits is nice. Look at this one, the Ivan Tao, Thor, and Lady Sif, like that Venomized style. Dude, these are fire. It's 5,000 gold though, and it's purely cosmetic. Well, not purely cosmetic. The 1,000 tokens there and 1,500 credits helps. Dang, man, that is so good. These bundles are kind of expensive. That's what's got me a little bit nervous. I don't love that. Trash Panda, ha, so funny. So you get 1,000 credits, 3,000 gold, which is kind of weird. Getting gold, usually gold is what you use to spend to purchase these bundles. So I don't know how much this is going to cost. Maybe that 3,000 gold there is actually the cost of it, and then everything else is the reward. Don't know. We'll see. But pretty adorable Rocket Raccoon variant right there. And then just a bunch of other ones, like getting a bunch of tokens. Token Tuesdays are coming back for June. So it seems like they're gone in May and come back in June. Don't love it. Don't love it. Don't like the boosters. Again, they're trying these things out. So that's interesting. Again, more boosters. Marvel's Voices Pride. We got America Chavez and Iceman looking pretty fresh right there. Not really my art style, and I have pretty good variants for both these, so I'd probably pass, but pretty neat. Moving on, we have some more credits, tokens. Look at Itsy Bitsy Spider. That's the Scotty Young variant for Miles Morales. That looks pretty fire, but again, 2,500 gold for 3,000 credits and a variant. Don't know if I pulled the trigger. Hard 8. This looks pretty cool with those noir style Dr. Octopus and Black Cat, with a lot of rewards as well. The Mech Hurt Connors. It's like a crazy mecha lizard. I think that actually looks so sick. But again, expensive. All expensive. Like all these bundles are at a high price tag. Another Scorpion one with Hobgoblin. Those are pretty cool, actually. This was hilarious. I don't like Sandman. 3,000 gold. He's got the salt guy. He made it into Marvel Snap. How about that? Kind of a jerk. Pretty funny. Fiona Hesh here. Venom and Carnage. I love her art style. This is so good. I would love to pick those up. But again, I feel like it's going to be expensive. We don't have a price, but geez, I don't know. 6,000 gold for Span. Excellent. Oh my gosh. But you get 3,500 tokens. Like again, like this is great. I love to get tokens. I love to get cool art, but holy smokes, I could only save enough gold for maybe one of these every couple months. Like I don't even know, dude. That's expensive. And then a bunch of patch highlights and stuff like that. So there you go. Those are our updates. Those are the bundles, Datamine cards, really exciting stuff. I'm going to continue to cover more Datamine cards as we continue to get more information. So definitely snap, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.